Hello, and welcome to episode 200 of a weekly Waypoint. I was wondering whether I should do some kind of, skit, like, whoa, 100 and, wait, what, 200? But I thought, let's just do it natural style. Today we are playing Diablo 3 on the PS4, because I fucking love Diablo 3. And, I can't remember if I talked about it last video, if it had happened by then. Yes, the whole point of last video was the fact that I didn't enjoy Lost Ark, or at least my first impressions of it. So if you want my thoughts on that, you can go back in time a week through the handy dandy magic of the internet. But it made me want to play Diablo 3 again, and I could have just done it the easy way and downloaded the PC version, which I own, and continued playing my Diablo 3 account, which I have on there. But I thought, Diablo 3's PS4 trophies are, in some of them, very, very grindy, and I feel like I would be wasting my time. Not wasting my time, having fun in a video game isn't wasting your time, but I feel like I would be being inefficient in terms of earning trophies and stuff if I played the PC version, because some of the trophies for this version include, like, doing 500 bounties and leveling 7 characters up to level 70. So of course I'm doing neither of those here. I'm doing a Greater Rift. And while we're on the subject real quick, this isn't like a build. This isn't like a something build necromancer. Like, I haven't really fully finished this character. He does Torment 2 level stuff, although he could probably go a bit higher, as you'll see at the end of this video. I do a Torment 2 level bounty, and I just kind of destroy everything in my wake. But no, if anything, this character has a trophy hunting build, because I actually get one of the trophies in this thing for Necromancer. Is a DLC thing, and it has its own trophies. So I was doing stuff like curses. I think maybe the circle button's always a curse of some sort, but the particular curse I was using was, to get a trophy, and I got it in this video and stuff like that. So yeah, also I haven't played Diablo 3 in like a year and a half, so don't at me. Basically, because it's the 100 sorry, what year is it? Because it's the 200th episode of a weekly Waypoint, I went back and watched the 100th episode, and boy howdy is that an interesting episode, because it seems to occur on the day that the first lockdown hit Britain and the pandemic really started to hit full swing. So that was an interesting, time to have a 100th episode of something, wasn't it? And where are we 100 episodes later? Well, we're still playing video games, that's one thing. But yeah, I was watching that episode, and I was listening back to how I was on about, thinking about changing up the series, what would eventually become the weekly Waypoint instead of a weekly deathmatch as it was back then. I was going to say as it was known back then, but let's just go with as it was back then. Maybe this isn't the most known series in the world, but that's okay. And I was going on about all the different things I could do, like I could do racing games, and I could do worms and stuff, and that got me to thinking about the kinds of games I haven't featured in the weekly Waypoint yet, and Diablo 3 is chief among them. If I have already done Diablo 3 as a weekly Waypoint, I will now eat crow, but I don't think I have. And yes, the trophy for cursing lots of enemies is called Curse Your Enthusiasm. But what is there to talk about this week? Well, the 3DS eShop's closed. Or it's not closed yet, sorry, don't panic. It's closing. Everyone already knows about this. Everyone's already had takes about this. But here's my take about this. Are you ready? It's a very unique take. It's going to be very nuanced and interesting and unique. I think I already said that. It sucks. It sucks that the shop's closing. That's the joke. The joke is that... Okay, moving on. No, the reason I bring it up is because with the 3DS eShop closing, most people should probably be looking towards getting digital exclusives, and I have been looking into it. I don't think there's a lot of digital exclusives I personally am going to feel too devastated missing out on. I have uploaded some stuff to Twitter where I've been looking through it and thinking about it. The main highlights, I think, is the Pull Block series I want to try out. It seems pretty fun. I might grab those before the eShop goes down. And as far as DSiWare goes, I'm a little interested in Zenonia, which is a RPG which was originally on iOS. I didn't realise it also had a DSiWare version. I think I remember playing a bit of Zenonia 4 and liking it, so looking at the trailer it looks kind of cool, so maybe I'll just grab that as well. This will be over the course of a few months. I'm not just going to drop loads of money. I don't really want to reward Nintendo for closing their eShop, but I mean, kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to actually getting the games. I mean, there's always Yarhar Flibbity D, but I've never felt as... I don't know what the word is, not comfortable, but I've never really felt... I don't think I've ever sat down in an emulated game and played it from start to finish, or just really had a good time in there. I've just always been aware that I'm emulating it, you know? And I have notorious trouble actually getting emulators to work too. But anyway, what I did is I forewent the digital download terror, and I went straight to Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest is a series that, despite not having played a lot of, as I've talked about in the past, I do love, and I do definitely want to play more of. So I looked to the Dragon Quest 7 and Dragon Quest 8 games on there, and originally I was just going to sit around and hope they went on sale before it ended and grab them from the eShop. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, why not just get them physical while I can, because the physical prices are probably about to shoot up in value. I mean, you can still find a copy of Dragon Quest 9 for like I nearly said a bucket of chips. Sure, you can still buy a copy of Dragon Quest 9 for a bucket of chips, because they made those things like paperweights. Actually, do they make paperweights by the million? I'm not sure. But if you want to get Dragon Quest 4, 5 or 6, which are also on the DS, you're looking to shell out £50 if you're lucky for a pre-owned copy, but especially for Dragon Quest 5, more like £100 to £200, anywhere within that range. And that's disheartening, isn't it? So currently you can get Dragon Quest 7 and 8 for about £35 each new. They still sell new. I was looking into this. Apparently these games, for whatever reason, did not sell well in the West, or at least they didn't sell well physically. Maybe it's because obviously they were on the eShop as well and people were starting to buy digital games back then. But I don't know. I kind of went, I want these games, and because they're Dragon Quest games as well, I don't really want to reward Nintendo with direct purchases for closing the eShop, and a whole other range of reasons. I decided to go physical for these games, or game, because I've only got one of them, but I did order Dragon Quest 7, and it's here, and I've played some of it, and basically I'm playing a 3DS game in 2022 and having a really good time with it. I notoriously, I keep using the word notoriously because I'm a very notorious person, I kind of underplayed my 3DS. I think the infographic, which told you how much of your 3DS you had actually played, was somewhere like 150 hours for me, which is not a lot for an entire console. I've got World of Warcraft characters that I've played more on, and they've been like alts I've kind of forgot about over time, so that's not good. So I kind of been trying to give my 3DS more love this week. I've been playing some Mario Kart 7. I think I already talked about the fact that I was playing Mario Kart 7. In fact, that's an interesting tidbit, isn't it? I think I was talking about how I was getting into playing my 3DS again like a day before the eShop news hit. So great. Sorry everyone. Looks like I killed the eShop. But yeah, the interesting thing about playing 3DS games is that I have no way of recording them, and I record all of my gameplay nowadays. PS4, Switch, PC, and Xbox. I just always am recording the last 30 seconds, and if something happens I take a clip of it, so I'm always kind of passively making videos. I'm always kind of passively making content out of my gameplay, because I love doing it, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, because hardly anyone watches it. Why would I do that? I mean, this weekly Waypoint series alone is a testament to my stubbornness of I just doing it because I like doing it. It doesn't matter if nobody else likes it, I like it, so that's probably good. Although I very much appreciate the few viewers I do have, thank you for stopping by. But my point here is that it kind of like bugs me in the back of my head if I'm playing something and I can't kind of, you know, clip something and share it and be like, ah, look, this happened in my game. It's just how I enjoy games these days. But with Dragon Quest, I kind of rethought that, and I thought, I mean, this is a game well, I'm about to contradict this, but I was about to say, this is a game just for me. I can just curl up with my 3DS and enjoy this adventure by myself, you know, classic style, or the style that most people play video games in, and it could just be for me, and I don't have to worry about the fact that I've taken up loads of hard drive space by recording loads, so now I have to go and edit a video, because as much as I do love making videos, that is a little bit of an issue sometimes. I still have, like, I've got fucking Final Fantasy 14 videos scheduled up to halfway through March, and I've still got like an entire expansion's worth of content to edit through. And I stopped playing that game a month ago, I feel like. So yeah, I don't have that, but I have been doing a Twitter thread, which I've told everyone how to mute if they don't want to see it, because I'm always worried about spamming people and scaring them away. But I'm doing a Twitter thread where I'm taking pictures of stuff happening and talking about it, and I'm kind of doing it that way, and it's kind of filling that same satisfaction, I guess. So that I have an entire Twitter thread of start to finish. I started doing this with Pokemon Ultra Moon a few years ago, but I kind of didn't play a lot of that game, so that's where that went. But then I think what I'm going to do at the end of it as well is write about it, do a blog post about it, and then I've got tweets to refer back to as well, and it's going to be a nice thing. So hey, turns out you can still make content out of 3DS, and I know you can, like, modify your 3DS to capture gameplay directly from it, but mate, it took me years to get an Elgato, okay? I'm not doing that shit. In other 3DS related news, or it's more DS related news, I finally caught up to the fact that these 500 games in one cartridges seem to be real, and they seem to work based on reviews. And I'm kind of like, well, if I've got no way of getting these games, apart from second-hand for exorbitant prices, which aren't even going to give money to the people who originally made the games, maybe I should just get one of those. I'm still considering that. I'm assuming that, like, most of them are scams, but, like, there's probably a few out there that are real, you know? Maybe. Not sure yet. It's obviously cheaper just to download the ROMs and emulate it on the PC. But every time I consider getting into emulation, at least on PC, it gives me a big old headache. So the idea of just like running it natively on my DS, assuming it doesn't brick the fucking DS, that would be kind of cool. I don't know. I did have a TT card back in the day. My friend gave me one, and I had a few games on it. But yeah, apparently that didn't really work going forwards. So with like new games, so I didn't have too much on there. But yeah, I experimented. I had some hacks on there too. I was hacking Animal Crossing, not multiplayer of course, but yeah, wild times. Interesting to think about. It brings up the other thing of like, there are entire emulation systems people make now. Like some of them are portable like the Switch, and some of them are just kind of like consoles that you can kind of plug in through HDMI, and it's kind of these plug and play systems that are thousands of games in, or I guess some of the less shady ones are just plug and play emulators and you provide your own ROMs probably, but yeah, I would be interested in those, but they cost like upwards of 70 quid, and I'm probably not going to spend 70 quid on emulation really, let's be honest. But I don't know, I think if I found one that was like, oh, it works with PS2, I would consider it, because I'd be able to make content about all my favourite PS2 games like I've wanted to for ages. But I think the cheaper option there would to just be buy the composite cables, because I've got a PS2 right next to me and I've got a controller right next to me, and the controller puts me off playing it too, because it's a really badly aged controller. Like the thumbstick kind of rotates, which it really shouldn't, and it makes gameplay feel weird. But I did have a quick gander online this morning, and it seems like third parties are still making PlayStation 2 controllers for like 15 quid, which is, well, that's well good, isn't it? So yeah, sorry, that was kind of an incoherent mess. I'm not sure how I'm going to chapter these out in terms of, you know, when you hover over it and you see the different chapters of the video where I discuss different things. But those are my thoughts on the 3DS eShop closing and how I'm responding to it. I'm thinking about buying Dragon Quest games, and I'm thinking about getting into emulation so I can play the other Dragon Quest games, you know, 4, 5 and 6, which I'm not going to spend £400 on. I'm holding off on getting Dragon Quest 8 for now because I don't really want to spend that much money on 3DS games this month, especially considering I bought like a 6-month WoW sub earlier in the month, so I'm going to hold off on spending all of my money unless my Switch game sells. I'm selling Hyrule Warriors on eBay at the minute for like 25 quid, because apparently it goes for 25 quid quite often. So I'm going to do that, and then if I do that, I'm going to use that to fund the next Dragon Quest game, just so I have both of them. I'm realising this is stuff I've talked about on Twitter, but I forgot to mention it in this video when I was talking about it earlier. I remain paranoid that the, you know, stock's about to run out, or that prices are about to shoot up, but it doesn't seem to be happening quite that quickly, so I should be fine. I tried to be smart about it. I used a website that awarded loyalty points, so I should get £4 off of it, and the website in question also has that game on sale right now for £32 instead of 35. So hopefully I should be able to get it for like 28 quid, which is like mostly what that game I'm selling covers. Oh, and speaking really quick about Hyrule Warriors, it's not the freaking Breath of the Wild prequel one, it's the original one. I remember I really couldn't get into that game, and when I was playing Diablo 3, when I was recording this, I remember thinking about it, like, you know, it's kind of surprising that I didn't like it, because it has a similar kind of look at that explosion, oh my god. It has a similar kind of you know, appeal to it, right? It's you versus hordes of hundreds of enemies and you are a god. You'd expect me to like that kind of game, but no. I guess I like one shonen genre but not the other. So yeah, that's 200 episodes of the weekly Waypoint. Holy heck. Will we make it to 300? I don't know. I want to stop this series if I ever find it a chore. So far, it's only like maybe one week in every like 10 that I'm like, ugh, I forgot I need to do the weekly Waypoint. It does happen, that thought does happen, but 9 out of 10 times, I really enjoy making this still. And I love having like an archive of what I've been up to each week. and what my thoughts are about usually video games each week that I can just go back to. Every now and again I do go back and watch one of these. Usually the one that occurred like the year prior to the current date, because I'm always like, what was I doing on this day a year ago? I used to be fascinated by that kind of thing until, you know, Facebook memories came along and just reminded us that, right, yes, constant misery and regret, thank you Facebook. You can disable those, by the way, but it's a massive pain in the ass to figure out how to do it. But hey, at least here it's not an algorithm dictating what I was doing a year ago and reminding me. It's me, and it's the highlights, and not the sad lights. That didn't work. I think it will probably be healthier at some point in time to make it like I'm not doing 200 weeks consecutively in a row without a week off. This series might get more spotty in uploads in the future at some point, but hey, that's probably a good thing. So look out for that happening, but probably not anytime soon. I'm stubborn about streaks, okay? I haven't drank a fizzy drink since December, and now whenever anyone's like, do you want a Coke? I'm like, no, I have to keep it going, even though it really doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, I'll see you next time.